The Education Support online program commenced with an orientation week. For this we used an online hub located in a Moodle course. As well as being used for the orientation activities, this hub would be active throughout the program as a way for the group to communicate. The purpose of the hub was to introduce the learners to the online platform. It was also a way to deliver information to them about the units that they were going to undertake, as well as the online program in general. They were able to practice using the tools they would use for the unit-based activities. This was a good way of breaking down barriers and getting used to working online. Finally, it gave the teachers and the learners the opportunity to get to know each other and start to build an online community. Here we see the home page of the Education Support Communication and Orientation Hub. On the right we have the information about the teachers and their contact details. And on the left, the major portion that you see here is really about delivering information to the learners. If we look at that section in a bit more detail, we can see that there was a news forum which was used for announcements, an online book with information about the program, and then an online program timetable. If we look a little closer at the book, you can see that some of the information we were providing was what they needed to do, how they were going to be assessed, and how they might submit their assessment tasks. The information area also included a place for students to ask questions and for us to give them useful tips. We included a link to the pre-program survey here because these students were fully online or distance ed, so it was important that we get the survey information out to them in a way that was easy for them to access. Another feature of the Communication Hub was a course blog where students could record their learning throughout the program and reflect on their progress. The first activity they undertook was to introduce themselves on a forum. They were asked to add a post about themselves and what they hoped to get out of the course. Then they moved on to some orientation activities. The group story was an icebreaker. We started them off with a sentence and then they built on the story. The sentence we started them with was, "Once upon a time in a deep dark wood." And then they were encouraged to include aspects of different fairy tales into the one story. They did a good job with this and had a bit of fun. The next section was about learning styles. We referred them to a website where they could test their preferred learning style, and then they were asked to put their results onto a forum and reflect whether that was an accurate assessment of their learning style. This was a way to start them thinking about how they learn and how they might best approach this program. Finally, there was more information about assessment, including their major online assessment task. When we reflected on how the week went, we were pleased to see there was quite a bit of participation from a group of learners who were keen to get started and make the most of the online opportunity. We noticed that some of them were a bit hesitant at the start, but they built confidence as the week progressed. Very quickly, some of the students began networking with each other, asking where they lived and whether they could meet up to form study groups, etc. The questions forum gave the opportunity for students to ask questions, and we could give answers in such a way that they could see all the responses. We hoped this would allay anxiety in any learners who were a bit shy about asking questions themselves. Finally, we were very pleased with the attitude the students showed to this online learning opportunity, and we think that will bode well for the rest of the program. We are now moving into the delivery phase of the 3 units that will be targeted in the program. They will be delivered over the next 6 weeks, and we are looking forward to that period.